Hello everyone, welcome back to Zippermom's Bizarre Podcast. Today we will discuss episode 37 of the Golden Wind adaptation, which is called King of Kings. And today we are quite a lot of people here, and they are all going to introduce themselves now.
Hello, my name is Kyo, and I'm the creator of Kyono Fugatsu and Kyono Fugatsu Advanced on Webtoon.
My name is Reatard, and WoW memes are back.
My name is Avi.
My name is Doppio.
My name is Kolak.
Yo, in real life Abdul here, aka Blan.
Alright, that's it. And I'm going to ask you the first question. We're going with the same one we had in the last episodes as well. On a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being very bad and 10 being extremely good, how would you rate the current episode?
I think I would rate it a 5 because it was really good story-wise, but that was probably the best part. And when it comes to adaptations, an adaptation should be a improvement of the manga or the original material. So I felt like, I don't know, especially with the Golden Experience Requiem part, I don't know, it just felt a bit off. But other than that, it was really good.
Okay,
I agree
this
with-
might be an unpopular opinion, but I'd rate it infinity if I could. But here's a 10 out of 10. I think it's amazing, and I can't really see anything wrong with it. So here's that.
Well,
I agree
personally
with-
would rate it like I gave it 3 out of 10 because I think the way they
Jesus.
adapted certain scenes was not very good. I'm going to talk about more about this later on when we go into certain topics that happened in this episode. But yeah, also we had like some quality queen moments in this episode.
Yeah.
Some of you might have noticed that the quality has been going down recently. The reason for that is currently the summer season starts for the animes, and David Production worked on a show called Fire Force, which came out yesterday. We're recording this on a Saturday, and they have been working on Fire Force all the time, so they had to like put the quality down on JoJo probably.
And that's unfortunate and poor plan.
So what do the others think about the episode?
I agree with what Keel said.
I would rate it like a 9 out of 10 because the end, like, there were some parts that are really good, but like in the middle, it sets like a bore. They're like dragging it on and on and on.
What?
I give it a 8 out of 10 because it's like the episode in storyline wise, it's really good, but in the quality, I'd give it a 5 or something.
Is there anything else any of you want to say about the rating?
No,
I'd give it a wasted potential out of 10.
A wasted potential out of 10.
Yes.
Alright, so the first thing I want to discuss with all of you is the adaptation of Bruno's death. A really sad scene, and I want to know what you thought about the adaptation, because in my own opinion I thought that they made the death way too short and they didn't extend it. I hope they would be extending it and maybe use some sad OST, for example the one when they discovered Abakio's dead body or anything.
Yeah, the music in general for this episode was very poor. Especially, I wanted to get punched in the gut. I wanted to have the same emotional impact that Abakio's death did. And I had a lot more of a connection with Bruno than Abakio. But this
And I
did
think-
not. But
I
somehow,
think it just kind of happened. Like, with the other deaths, you can feel like you can feel the impact it left on everyone else. But I think it's because Gianna was the only one that knew about it. That I don't know. It felt like they were trying to put as much content as possible. That's what I felt, so they could fit in Golden Experience Requiem and stuff. So it felt like it was kind of rushed. Yeah. So I thought that's what it felt like watching the episode. It seemed like, yeah.
I feel so lost whenever I hear like complaints about the quality or music because the music hit me so hard for some reason, or maybe I'm just that touchy and whatever. But quality, I comparing it to the last episode, which was really underwhelming. I found this episode looking really good for me. So maybe I'm just not too picky at all.
Well, this episode had a lot of things going on. Like a lot happened.
Like
So
I really loved all the kind of auras and the the wind, the clouds. It just looked so amazing to me. And the part with King Crimson's Punch Barrage, it looked so like vibrant and well animated. Well, at least it's what it seemed like to me.
Like as for me, I really like the animation style in that episode. The adaptation from the manga to the anime is really good in my opinion.
I think
They animated that episode really well, and in my opinion, the audio of that episode was, I could say it's horrible, but it's not that bad.
I mean,
oh
those
no,
rumble sound effects.
we forgot to talk about the sound effects for the opening.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
my
yeah,
God.
I have to say I found them really, really bad and unnecessary. I don't know why they wasted their time on this. I feel like they just had like a library of all the sound effects they ever used for JoJo, and someone was like, "Hey, you're the new guy here, right? Come on, pick some random sound effects and put them on the opening. Here's your first task at David Production." And yeah, it felt very poor.
Fuck it, we haven't used the Aerosmith plane noise in a while. Put it in there, quick.
No.
I think also there was a part I found strange when Sticky Fingers did his rush attack. It carried on over a little bit into Gianna's animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, maybe they used the new guy at David Production to do this.
Yeah.
Did they give the new guy everything for JoJo?
But I think one thing I was gonna say is, hopefully with the last 1 hour special, maybe because they have more time to do stuff. Maybe they'll like.
They actually don't have time because in Japan one anime episode is like 30 minutes because there's advertisements in between the episode like 3 times. So they will only show 30, 38 and 39, I think. Because
I think
yeah, it's been like triggering me because I keep reading comments on Twitter. People are wishing for Purple Haze feedback or Stone Ocean reveal, and I'm like, guys, it's not going to happen. They're just going to air the last episodes, probably because there were some like issues with the television rights, so they couldn't broadcast the episodes on Friday. So they have. Because the last 2 episodes are going to be broadcast on a Sunday. I think even like 4 hours earlier, but I'm not sure about that. I have to double check.
4 hours early.
Yeah, I might put a comment underneath this video if I found out, but I think it's like airing at 8 p.m. Japanese Standard Time.
I won't be up by then.
And it usually airs on like 2 a.m. Japanese Standard Time.
But I think most of like the goofy face and stuff will get fixed in a Blu-ray.
Yeah, but that's not everybody buys Blu-ray, especially people who get it aired in television, and that's
Yeah, you also have to keep yourself reminded that one Blu-ray in Japan only has 3 episodes and costs like I think 30 to 70 euros. It
Oh.
depends on the show you're watching and the quality.
By the way, the Blu-ray of JoJo is like seriously bad.
Is it?
Which one?
Really?
I didn't
Yeah,
think so.
in my opinion, it's like horrible.
Are you
Why?
talking about the season or in general?
The animation first of that and the audio is also bad.
But keep yourself reminded we are talking about the episode here, not about the
Yeah.
Blu-rays.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
carried away a little.
Save that for the other podcast.
No, the SFX opening sounded kind of unusual to me because I'm not used to those at all. I've listened to like only one opening with sound effects, and it didn't really seem too bad to me. It's just that I just wasn't impressed at all, except maybe when
I think
Trish Sponges sounded really good, but except for
yeah,
that.
the Spice
Personally,
Girl one's really good.
Also, I don't even understand why they put the SFX in here. They announced it on Twitter like before the episode aired on Japanese television, and I don't get why they put the SFX in there. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me.
If you were going to have sound effects, have them from the beginning. Don't spring it on us like the third to last episode.
Yeah. Or at least the last episode they should add it in.
Disorienting to me. It was
personally, I think the sound effects opening was pretty cheesy. I think sound effects openings in JoJo work better with the 3D ones, like in Stardust Crusaders.
Yeah.
Going back
Okay,
to Bruno's death, personally, I didn't think that it was really sad. I thought it was more like a necessary thing to progress the plot forward rather than something to make the readers feel sad.
Yeah.
But I do like
Yeah.
the visuals that they did with Bruno's death.
Well,
It-
I
it-
wasn't expecting actually to be sad at Bruno's death, but I only wasn't expecting it personally, as I said. The music kind of hit me, but the graphics on that part, well, the part overall looked very good.
And also,
But
I think we all knew that he would die. So if it was more of like a relief that he died because he can finally rest at peace and feeling sad because all of the deaths up to now were all sudden and it just happened. And Bruno's was like a long and dragged death that we all know is gonna happen.
by the way,
I-
if you all haven't noticed, Bruno looks different when his soul was ascending to heaven.
because it was gold instead of blue.
No, I mean his face. It was different.
I haven't noticed
So-
that at all.
I
Actually.
didn't notice it either.
What, like the expression on his face?
Yeah, kinda, and the shading and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was because the only color that was there was gold. So
Yeah, mate.
Probably it.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe
I
it
remember-
could be
Looks
like
like-
some kind of stylistic device that Bruno's finally resting and he doesn't have to think about anything. Like, he's probably confident that Jonah will defeat Diavolo.
I
Bruno's
don't-
face looked like, I think, like kind of much clearer, I guess I could say, than it usually does. But once again, it was only golden color, so that's probably it.
yeah,
When
I
he
think
was
it's
like,
like we're used to seeing the contrast of his hair and his skin, and all of a sudden it's just one plain color.
Yeah,
And
that could
then
do it too.
when his soul was like going up, there was like more pronounced stripes on his hair, so it made him look more like a watermelon. I literally never noticed that there were stripes on his hair.
The shot when his soul was ascending to heaven with all the cubes, I feel like that whole shot looked more like something from the manga rather than the anime.
Yeah, it looked like the I Refuse scene from part 4. It was literally like a copy and paste from the manga.
Yeah, the one with the angels, you mean? It's like a direct panel from the manga.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of made sense to me that it would look like a complete ripoff from the manga, and I mean, I don't even know why. Maybe because this scene is literally just there's no animation at all. It's just like basically one shot. So yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes like still pan shots can also like express beautiful animation or like artwork. In this case, the angels and stuff. Because when I was watching the episode with an anime only friend, he was like, "Oh my god, it looks so beautiful," and he was like glad that they didn't like animate it and just panned over it, so you can take a longer time to see everything on the artwork and stuff.
Actually, I
Yeah,
agree with Mom.
I
Yeah.
feel that this was also a problem in the beginning of part 5. It's like the animators, they keep changing throughout each part. Because if you see like the quality of part 3 compared to this, especially with the Avdol and Iggy death scene, like the way they appear just feels so good. And then like, I don't know, it feels like it's done better.
Yeah, but there's like one thing that I don't really like about the adaptation of Bruno's stuff, because like I said earlier, I feel like they made it way too short. Because in the manga they separated the panels and he was like saying things like separately, like I'm leaving this up to you, then a new panel where he says Jono, and it felt way more slowly for me when I was reading the manga for the first time.
Yeah.
In
It kind of
in the anime it was just like the voice actor was reading the script off like, I'm leaving this up to you, Jono, I'm going now, see you, okay, bye.
Well,
kind
once
of
again,
Yeah, it's
it they must have some time to do all the like cool stuff anyway, because his monologue it could be a little bit like the pauses between the words might be a little bit shorter, and I don't think it did impact it too much.
And
I think they
talking
could have had
about
more
voice,
time because, like, and before the opening played, it was just Diablo punching Trish again.
yeah,
I mean, like
None of the characters really had time to dwell on the death of Bruno, because if they like had a emotional breakdown or something at that moment right there, that would be a very bad time, because Diavolo could have just like got the upper hand.
yeah.
Also,
I agree with that.
you can hear Mr. saying that Bruno is like doing a good job with the with like defeating Chariot Requiem, so it indicates that the others still think that he's alive and in a Colosseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about voice actors, I really liked Diavolo's. I think it was such a big contrast from when you usually see him. He's like calm and composed, and this one, especially like with some of the faces, even if they were goofy, he looked so desperate and like scared. I think it was really interesting.
Diavolo didn't look too goofy, in my opinion. King Crimson, on the other hand, was just poor. It was
Well, the funniest part about King Crimson in the episode was when he was begging Bucharati, like, not
Yeah.
to swap everyone's souls because King Crimson looks like so lost and so kind of sad. I don't know.
King Crimson is always angry.
But but that time he wasn't. He had like puppy eyes, so that really threw me off. But
He always
Diablos,
had like fish eyes, though.
yeah, well, never
I'm
mind.
not gonna lie, I agree with you, Turban.
And the voice actor, well, he did do an outstanding job, and the contrast, like he one part his comment, then he just shouting "damn it," and it felt really nice.
I'm going to throw a bit of short information in here. If any one of you is familiar with this voice actor, Diablo's voice actor is called Katsuyuki Konishi, and he, for example, voiced Kamina in Gurren Lagann. If any one of you watched that, I think that's his most famous role.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, but I think he's doing a pretty good job for like the boss, because I feel like he sounds the manliest and most fearsome of all the voice actors he had.
Abakio.
I mean,
Misoto.
his Diablo's voice is manly. On the other hand, his appearance, I don't know about that.
Are we really going to
Well,
talk about this now?
Let's not.
That
Yeah.
is a look that I was willing to emulate for last night.
Really?
Well,
Talking about.
Well, excuse me,
can we
but
move
Diablo.
on?
Off topic. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we move on to the next topic? We got the reveal of Gold Experience Requiem, and before we talk any further about that, do we want to go with the abbreviation, or do we want to say Gold Experience Requiem all the time we say it?
Are we
Can we
just going to
just-
say
Let's
get?
just say Requiem.
Get.
Yeah, probably
Alright,
right.
let's say Requiem.
Yup.
So, how did you like the reveal of Requiem? And to the anime-only viewers here, did you expect that John was gonna stab himself with the arrow?
I think it was, like I said in a previous podcast, it was bound to happen because a power that big, it can't just be ignored by the main character. And I really like his design because it looks awoken or something. Like his eyes are widened, and Golden Experience's design looks like his head looks like a bulb
A crown.
or something from a plant. And then when it's Requiem, it looks like it blossoms. And I really like his design.
Alrighty.
I thought
In
How
my
his-
opinion, it looked.
You know how
Well,
his original
I didn't.
Golden Experience looks kind of like a scarab
Oh,
Like a
by the
little bug.
way, it's Gold
like how it-
Experience.
whenever it gets awoken.
It's a very common mistake. Everyone says golden because in Japanese it sounds like you would
Yeah,
say
golden.
golden, but it's
Yeah.
Gold
The
Experience.
Gold Experience.
Yeah, also Gold Experience Requiem is a tongue twister in Japanese actually, because you say Gold Experience and then from the R you have to move on directly to the Requiem, and they pronounce it like
From an R to another R.
Yeah, and they pronounce the R like a mix of L and R, and then they like get a tongue twister.
Yeah, I got really confused. Like, since when voice actors started prioritizing like L over R? It like sounded really weird to me when they started saying like Requiem.
Yeah, it's really hard for them to do this. I can imagine that they spent like 1 hour in the voice acting booth, like pronouncing Gold Experience Requiem in Japanese over and over again.
I mean, Japanese people can't pronounce an R.
Can they?
Back to the
Yeah.
the reveal of Gold Experience Requiem. I think the reveal was David Productions. It really let me down because I was expecting something like that impacted me more. If they went more in depth of what Diavolo was thinking in the moment, I feel like that wouldn't would have enhanced Gold Experience Requiem's reveal, because Diavolo was in a spot that he had never been in before. He was always at the top, and he was kind of like not thinking straight, and he was kind of like suffering almost.
Yeah, he's
And
panicking.
if he
not
really
see
got
him
to know
suffer?
what he was thinking, that would have really enhanced his reveal.
Yeah.
Right.
In my
I read the manga after watching the episode, and I think adaptation wise, Golden Experience Requiem reveal was pretty good, and it was kind of enhanced because if I saw it right, they kind of filled in the space between the panels in the animation, like with the eye and such. So for me it looked, well, it could have looked better, I guess, but it's still like was pretty epic. And by the way, just I have to say it straight away, this rumble sound effect, like when the eye starts showing, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will agree with that.
I
Yeah.
like that as well.
I think it's the most satisfying sound effect of probably all JoJo.
You can't deny that the Star Platinum scream is more satisfying.
Yeah.
The
Well,
aura?
No, I mean when he
Say
screams.
so.
No.
Oh,
Do you mean in like the end duel fight, like when he punched in duel and then
Yeah,
he
yeah,
screamed out in the?
yeah.
that's less of a sound effect and more of like a noise the voice actor's making.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, still satisfying. We'll just say all
Yeah.
of that.
The hand, I'd say, is
Okay, back to the topic.
Yeah, there was one thing that some viewers didn't like about the reveal. I already read it in some comments. Most people seem to wish that Requiem was voiced by a female voice actor, because
Yeah.
for those
Oh,
of you
yeah.
who don't know, Jono's voiced by a girl in the PS2 game, and in Eyes of Heaven version he also has like the same female voice actor, I think, for Requiem. And what is your opinion on that? Would you rather have Requiem with a female voice, or do you prefer that like the stand user is also speaking the stand?
I think
I prefer Requiem to have a female voice actor, because Gold Experience was something that was more elegant rather than very masculine like Star Platinum, and a female would have really enhanced that idea that it was like an angel or something of that sort.
Yeah. And I think it would have given it some air in the voice, or made it more airy and light. So it would have enhanced that feeling of like it ascended or it upgraded.
I think
It's a controversial choice, of course, but in that case, well, as almost always, I wouldn't complain. I agree with Kyo that kind of the new voice would give the stand like an enhanced feeling, so it's like powered up, it's the new entity or whatever. But at the same time, it just sounds. How do I express it? I don't know. It does sound like. Oh shit! I'll just skip it.
I think like I'm pretty neutral, but if they made like the same girl freaking voice Golden Experience Requiem, I think like the voice actor is called Romy Park, and I think that's the same actor that voices Koichi. So like if that voice were to voice Requiem, I just think Koichi's just freaking bawling his eyes out, like screaming at Diavolo, and it'd be like really weird.
Yeah, it will probably become a meme, but I personally have to say this might be controversial, but I think that they took Jono's voice actor for the anime is a good choice, because in the past we had Koichi who voiced Echoes. We had Mista who actually voiced Sex Pistols, for those of you who didn't know. We have Trish voicing Spice Girl and so on. So I think it would be like out of character if Jono suddenly got a female voice for him speaking, because we have to remember that a stand is the manifestation of your soul, and if God Experience Requiem would have a female voice, that could be like, is Jono transgender or something because he has a female voice? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we're living in 2019 right now. I don't know what, like, people could
Have you
make
seen
up
the way
some.
he dresses?
Yeah, people could
Oh.
make up some weird controversial shit on the internet. Yeah.
I think that it makes more sense to have your stand have the same voice as you, just because it's supposed to be an extension of yourself.
Oh, that's what I was trying
So,
to say.
but it's
Damn it.
but if it's like an elevated version, I guess, especially since he already presents pretty androgynous, I guess it would make sense to have the
Cool.
stand.
Could I go a little bit off topic here? Because now we're talking about Gold Experience Requiem Reveal. I gotta say, well, first of all, I think I already said about King Crimson, like punch barrage, and this sound of his punches, by the way, it was pretty cool, and the animation, like seeing him punching so fast, is so unusual. And I think they made it kind of brighter. But going even more off topic, we were talking about Diavolo's appearance. In this episode, when he was in Mista's body and his like eyes were black, I just noticed that Mista looks really more suitable for a main villain role just by his appearance than Diavolo. Don't
What?
you think so?
Hold on, explain. What about Mista's appearances? This is villain material.
A crop top Italian boy, #1 villain.
Yeah,
God.
like I just noticed this thought pop up in my head. Like Diavolo sometimes looks like he's just a fashion guru of some sort when he's not completely angry, and I think it would be easier to make Mista look more like the menacing guy.
You know, there's also the Devil meme where like Bruno and the rest of the group are looking for the boss, and they are like, we have to look for the boss, they can blend in everywhere, and then meanwhile the boss, and then like a picture of a naked stripper. You know that meme?
Oh,
Yeah, I've seen that.
who doesn't? Who
Funny.
doesn't?
I think it reminds me of the one where, like in the second episode or so, when Bruno was like, "Yeah, we're in the mob, so we have to keep a low profile. People try not to get attention or even have like cover jobs, and then everybody in the Italian mob after that dresses like this."
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about JoJo here, so I think it's nothing
Yeah.
special.
But it was just funny how they said in universe, "Yeah, we try to keep a low profile," but then
Yeah.
dress like a bunch of.
Yeah, but someone on Reddit also made a theory. Could it be that in the JoJo universe, the way they dress it's normal for them, but not for us because we live in a different dimension or something?
We see
it's just
civilians dress like normal ass people though.
they have unique outfits, so you can tell that they're the villains and they're the main characters. Because if they all look like normal people, it'd be boring to look at them.
I mean,
That makes
I thought
sense.
Zuko
That's
looked
just an
pretty
argument of
nice.
character design.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, part 4 has the most straightest villain of all JoJo's.
Oh,
Yeah, but remember we have to keep back going to Requiem for now.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about Requiem's reveal, as for me, it would have been better if like Giorno stabbed himself with the arrow, and it looked like he died, and then Diablo goes to approach Mista and Trish to kill them. Then Giorno just hits him from behind with a surprise.
I also feel
I
like it should
Wording.
have ended at the reveal. It would have been like a big moment. And then
Yeah.
You're saying we would have to wait for the glorious Manga for 3 more weeks? Nay.
yeah, it would make the fight more better because you've been waiting for it for so long.
I mean, there's
I
still
don't
one
think
I mean,
in the next
I mean,
episode, so...
I have a theory on requiems.
Okay.
It's just a
Um,
theory.
yeah. It's that theory that like since a requiem is a type of music that's played when someone dies. Pro I theorized and that like as when a stand gets stabbed by an arrow, it dies and gets reborn into some kind of um, really powerful life
Version.
being.
Jesus
Yeah, 'cause
imagery.
Yeah, that's
maybe
kind of the
that
case
can
of
make sense.
Requiem here. Because in comparison to the arrow that Kira used in part 4, Killer Queen just get a new ability, and Requiem gives you a complete new appearance and power up, and maybe also a new ability.
That
Yeah,
also happens
exactly.
with you see that a lot with Echoes, how it like comes out of its shell to show that it's changed and evolved. So maybe
Yeah,
that's
Like,
what
it looks like a little
Araki was
bug.
going for with
Echo's
like a little bug
evolution
Experience
really
Requiem.
looks
coming out.
like a Requiem. Like the Gold Experience Requiem, like dropped his shell like Echo's did.
Like he's a little
Yeah.
bug. Like he's what's molting.
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying an act is a requiem.
No.
Just kind of correlation there.
No, I think I brought it up just to show the fact that it's a way of Araki showing that a character or the stand evolves into something else.
If you mind if I add something about about Requiem speaking, I feel like well, that whole scene in general would have been better if we really knew how Diavol was thinking at the moment. Because imagine that you've been number one for as long as you can remember at whatever you do, but then someone who just started doing whatever activity that you do, and the person you don't even know and never met before somehow ascends you in every aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that idea
That just
is
seems
really triggering.
terrifying.
The future is now, old man.
Yeah, there's also another thing I want to ask our anime-only viewers. What do you think of Requiem's power in this case, or did you had any idea what its power could be?
I think it was I don't really know what I was expecting because like I said in a previous podcast, Silver Chariot Requiem, its ability has nothing to do with a sword or super fast sword play or something like that. So I don't really know what I was expecting, but yeah,
The
it was
power-
interesting seeing that his ability is to reverse time or just reset
Well,
time.
Well, it's
the
not
power-
that. Let's
The power for
talk about
Requiem has
that.
to do,
Okay then.
like
It's not
the
reversed
desire
in time.
when
Okay,
that happens,
whatever
right?
whatever it is. I wasn't expecting it. That's what I mean.
Do I have to explain the ability again to make it more understandable?
No, don't
that
worry.
would help.
Wait, what
I
happened?
think that's necessary, kinda.
Because God Experience Requiem doesn't have the ability to rewind time, but like to return an effect or a cause to zero, which means that he prevents a thing from happening. It's basically reverse King Crimson.
Basically, it has the ability to undo the ability of stand.
King Crimson's ability is all about the end
So
result.
it's a redo.
This is all about the beginning, just going back. to
No,
zero,
it
going back.
undoes it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, undoes. Yeah, that makes sense.
I actually found a quote comparing King Crimson and Gold Experience Requiem, and I think it was something along of Gold Experience Requiem erases, like, keeps the course, and I fucked it up. I think it was something like God Experience Requiem, like it keeps the action but erases the cause, and King Crimson's like the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so basically reverse King Crimson we have here.
So basically the opposite. The opposite.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and also another thing that some viewers might not understand. The thing is, when time is skipped, Gold Experience Requiem is still able to move, but John is not able to move. So Gold Experience Requiem can freely move in like erased time. For
Yeah.
Gold
example,
Experience is
By the
still-
way, I
Yeah.
noticed that
For
Gold
example.
Experience Requiem has a mind of its own and a thinking of its own.
Yeah, because it's superior in development. Also, when you play the PS2 game, it's like more understandable because when King Crimson erases time in the PS2 game, the screen becomes like the colors turn negative, and this means that time is being skipped right now, and you can still move with Requiem, but not with Jono in the game. I think that's like more understanding.
Yeah.
Video games are a good way to explain it because it's hands-on.
Yeah, so basically TLDR and Requiem can move in erased time and do anything, but Jono is not aware of Requiem moving.
But
Okay.
wait,
I understand it now.
if Diavolo himself says that the actions never actually happened, so does that count as moving in race time if that race time never even happened?
Like,
it's just
that they have to
Well, you obviously
illustrate it in the
experience it.
anime. He is predicting the events, but Requiem is erasing that it's going to happen. Like, he sees the future events, but they won't happen because Requiem stops them.
Yeah.
But then how is he
I
able to
understand it now.
manipulate within that time period?
Yeah,
Of
like I
not
said,
time period.
because Requiem can freely move and he is immune to time stop.
Okay, but he's not stopping time, he's skipping it.
well, theoretically.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's immune to time, to erase time as well. And also, Requiem's ability is global, which means it affects the entire universe.
What? That's pretty OP.
Yeah,
Well, it is.
And again,
because
it's
it-
Requiem,
Never-
That's
man.
almost a heaven ability.
I never understood
Process.
why when Gold Experience Requiem's ability was being activated while the time skip was in effect, why did Diavolo see multiple frames of himself?
I think we should keep that for the next episode discussion because manga readers might know what I'm hinting on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You definitely know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I
No.
don't.
I do.
Yeah. I
Just
think
say spoilers and say it.
Yeah, I think some
Can
anime
I
only...
hint at it?
No, you can't.
I'm shutting up.
I think the
Oh
reason.
yeah, I got you.
But I think you all know what I'm like hinting about. Like, I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to go into
Yep.
detail. Anime only viewers listening to this are probably like, why
Now
the
I
fuck
get
is
it.
this such a big thing? And yeah, well, you will see in the next episode. But we're really like stepping on a careful environment here, and I don't want anyone to accidentally spoil the ending for part 5 again.
I
I'm
think
shutting the
the
fuck
reason
up.
that there was like multiple Diavolos, because
Oh,
like
Yeah,
I read the.
I'm
You can.
dumb.
You
It's
can.
not.
You can make some you can say your ideas if you have
Yeah,
any.
I'm gonna tell you mine because like I read the manga for the Mystery of King Crimson, and then when King Crimson skips time, the same thing happens, but it happens in forward. But when Requiem does it, it happens in backwards. But the anime, it never like adapted the multiple like Brunos when King Crimson skipped time in that arc. It just like it's just like King Crimson was like, yeah, I predicted it, and then he just hits him.
So, do the anime only the participants have any idea why he's seeing multiple images of himself?
I don't. To be honest, I have no clue.
That's fine.
It's JoJo, and I don't really know what to expect.
Yeah, but when you see the next episode, you will understand, or maybe not. You might be
Well,
even more confused.
I think the
I
reason.
know what I believe I know what you're talking about, Mom. But it just still because it just still confuses me why he's seeing multiple of himself.
Yeah, like
but,
I know what's gonna happen,
wait
but
for
I
the
still
next
don't
episode.
understand.
Yeah,
I
Because
think we
I
just
know
need
it's
to see
gonna
it more in
happen.
action.
It just for me it just doesn't explain why.
This whole conversation.
I can
stressing me
explain
out.
it to you next time. Like I said, we are stepping on very careful terrain here. It's like
The whole conversation turned
Yeah.
into a hint onto the last episode.
yeah, but I
It's like
think
a
if you're
minefield.
anime only, you can't make it out on your own. If you can predict the ending from part 5 as an anime only, you're a fucking genius. But
Rocky
I'd say
Somebody
Jr.
it's
says that.
impossible. So we should be moving on. We still have 15 minutes left, and I want to talk about the music choices in this. We also talked about this sometime here in the podcast, but I feel like in this episode it was very bad. For example, when Jono picked up the arrow, they played the Fierce Fight theme, which was actually the theme when Bruno fights against Diavolo in the church for the first time. And I feel like they should have rather gone with the main theme from Golden Wind, because I know it's iconic, but
Yeah,
for
I was going to
example,
Doro.
when I see Jono, I want an OST being played which is connected to Jono, so I know Jono's going to have an epic moment. But they just went with the remix version of Bruno's theme here, and I think it was retarded. Also, but I'm glad that they used the second theme for Gold Experience. I don't think I've ever heard it before in the anime. I'm not too sure about that. Any
Second
one of
episode,
you?
I think.
Yeah, but I feel like they haven't played it once or twice in the anime. I can't remember when they played it.
A musical reprise has to have a purpose, or there's usually a reason for it. I can't find a reason to try to reference back to that moment in the moment that he gets the arrow.
Well,
if it is, it would be quite a stretch.
I mean, there are some music choices in the part where two episodes where the music is used are not correlated at all. Like Vita, the one of the Journal's themes when he's fighting Babyface is used in Spice Girls Awakening. So I don't see the correlation there as well. But
it's because they gain a new ability. They understand their ability a little bit better.
They also played the theme, and I think in this episode, because I know what track you're talking about. It's called Vita, I think, and it's like the translation of life. And it plays in the Babyface arc because Jono realizes that he has the ability to heal people. And it
didn't
also
he heal
plays
people before?
Yeah, but
No, he did not.
he didn't really heal, but he was not aware of it. When the theme played, he was aware of it, that he had this ability. And it also played when Trish awakened her stand, so it's basically like someone gets a new ability. It also played this episode with Requiem, I think, when he was showcasing his powers, maybe.
That is what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah, my opinion is with moms. They at that fight when Giorno took the arrow and stabbed himself with it, They should have played El Vento d'Oro, just like in part 3 when Jotaro fights, they play his own theme, like all the time.
I think they should have used that theme or like the boss's theme, because they did that also with part 3. Like there
What do
was
you
like
mean?
that
Yeah,
epic version of Dio's theme. I think they
yeah.
should have done
Oh,
that.
that could have been
Or
interesting.
remixed.
Well, being not too picky, as I said, I don't know how Jordan's theme would have sounded instead of Bruno's. I might just going playing random music over that part in the anime.
You
So
want
I
to
don't know.
talk?
But the second Journey's theme when he got Requiem, I think it fit quite well. Like even without any reason, it sounded very fitting.
I could
Yeah.
make
You
an
wanna-
edit of Requiem review with Jonas theme if you want to see how it would sound like, but I have
this would
to
be
I
fun.
have to cut the audio from the anime version because I'm going to explain this because sometimes I get like comments or people say why are you removing the background sounds, and the issue is if you don't have the Blu-ray you can separate the audio channels, because on
Yeah.
some Blu-rays you can separate the audio and the voices, and because we still have the TV version, I have to like cut the entire audio, because otherwise you have like 2 background musics at the same time, and I do shit post, but like this is like too bad quality for me to upload. Like I refuse to upload such videos.
Dago could work.
I'm glad that I've placed myself in the company of someone with standards.
Oh,
Yeah,
professionals have standards.
there's still one topic I really want to discuss with you, because we have like 5 minutes left, unless anyone wants to add something to the music issue.
I do,
Yes.
actually.
Alright, go ahead.
This song that was playing when Diavolo was running or was going to run
Oh yeah.
was so cheesy. It was very funny to me. I don't know. It seemed very out of place in such an intense leading up to.
Yeah, agree.
I don't remember what the song was called, but there was a song with really high pitched trumpets when Gold Experience Requiem. One of those scenes, they were playing the song with like really high pitched orchestral and brass sounds in the background, and I feel like that song gave me the feeling that the whole episode was more like an epic rather than JoJo.
Yeah.
Are you implying that JoJo is not an epic?
Well,
Hmm.
JoJo never really had those kind of songs, but yeah.
It didn't?
Do we really have to discuss this right now? Because remember, we have to stay on the topic. Anyone want to add anything to the music again?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I remember I was listening to I think the OST's called Golden Experience, and I was just jamming out to the music when Requiem was there and Diablo was there, and the music just suddenly changes, and I was just so bummed out. Like Jesus Christ! Like they kept on flipping and flopping to music. It really bummed me out. Like I couldn't really settle into the scene because like one time it's Bruno's theme, then it's not, then it's not, then it's this one, then it's not. It's like I just want some of the music to stay longer because they're all good, but they're all too short.
That's valid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a
That's
mashup.
why the OST is good. But even the soundtrack or some of the songs are only like 1 minute long.
Yeah, so I'm going to move on now because I'm having a big debate with my friends about the color scheme of Requiem. I already wrote in the comments of my comparison video, but since yesterday, my friends are like separated in two different fractions, and one fraction is like the anime color scheme is better, and the other one is like the manga scheme is better, and now we're like constantly fighting which one is superior, and like I feel like we're playing like Mario Party or something, where like a minor thing can end your entire friendship. If
I
you
mean,
know
if
what
I
I'm
I,
talking
I
about.
take
So
yeah, totally.
I usually
I
see the two side by side.
yeah, because I actually have to say that I like the manga version more because it looks more golden and has like similar
Yeah.
yeah, it
colors on
has
the
more
cover.
vibrant
Yeah,
more vibrant colors.
someone in the comments wrote that they think God Experience Requiem looks like it's wearing diapers in the anime version.
But I
Yes.
think the eyes look better in the anime because it's pink as in manga, or at least the colorized version. It looked a lot like Diavolo's eyes.
I like the PS2 design of Gold Experience Requiem because it maintains the hints of purple that the anime Requiem has, but it also has the darker colors, which I find more appealing rather than the like banana yellow that anime Requiem has.
It has more of a
Yeah.
bronze color in the manga compared to the gold.
So what do the others think about the different color schemes we got?
Hmm.
I could imagine that
Alrighty.
there were anime only viewers say the anime version looks the best because they don't know the manga version.
Okay, I have seen the manga version and I've seen some recolors of the anime. And I think for me, the one who is not, I can't say I'm just so used to the anime. Well, I do feel like I am still, if that
Anime
makes
only.
sense. So it's just, it's really unusual to see the kind of another color in the manga, which is, well, is less detailed, and then in recolors it's carried on to the anime, and I can't really like compare them because I still see that color and I remember the manga, so it's just memories that pop up in my head when I see different color schemes. But that's why I just prefer looking at the anime version, not to kind of disturb myself.
I mean, I like the manga version better. Also, the Eyes of Heaven game design is like really close to the manga one. If you all have played Eyes of Heaven, yeah, I prefer the manga. I prefer the manga version. It's like more colorful and vibrant.
Oh, by the way, I just remembered. I would never want to see Fugo in a red suit. I just don't know why. It just looks so weird to me when I look at it in the manga.
Yeah,
It
but
just
keep in
doesn't
mind
fit.
we have to talk about the episode here. We're slowly running out of time, so is there anything any of you want to add?
No.
I just
I
looked at
forgot to say that I really liked the anime Requiem's eyes.
If you want to look at the manga version, it is in the I've posted in the text channel.
I just looked at the I just looked at the anime version, and it's so weird how like the arrow on its forehead is purple, and then
Yeah,
in the
like,
manga
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
colored normally.
I didn't even
I like
realize that
that
the arrow is like stuck in its head. Like, holy shit, why?
It's
I
also
I like
interesting
that the
because
arrow is purple.
Oh wait, let me
Yeah,
check.
By
you
the way,
see, if you take a closer
the
look,
arrow,
you
the arrow
realize
in the manga stays with its normal design. Like it appears on the forehead with the normal design. It does not change colors.
I think it's also because they need to animate it. It seems like with all the designs in part 5, they've been kind of like, I don't know, it seems like they've kind of been butchered in a way. Because if you see Golden Experience Requiem's face, he has like those patterns that Golden Experience has on his chest. There's like little rectangle things, and it's all over his
Uh,
face and his little hoodie thing. I really like that.
yeah, but you have to keep in mind that if they put it on in the anime, they have to like redraw it frame for frame, which you don't have.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I think they did similar things with Mister's Hat and maybe Spice Girl, because it's like I think they also did it with Seko on Rages, but yeah, you can't blame
It's too
them.
complicated to animate.
Yeah, you have
all the time.
to redraw like every single frame from scratch, and you don't want to do this.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just me, but I think that the color of Anime Requiem, the yellow, is even lighter than regular Gold Experience.
it looks like his skin or like the underlayer skin of Golden Experience.
Yeah, did you also notice that the aura has changed to a like blue color?
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
And it's also way
It
more
is good because
powerful.
it contrasts with the red.
And Jonas' hair has gone wild.
Yeah, he lost his little thing. His hair's like loose now.
But that looks
I wanna
much better.
add something.
He lost his braid.
I wanna add something. I know this is on the regular gold experience, but can we all appreciate that gold experience requiem and gold experience has the bug on Giorno's suit on him?
Like a ladybug?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean
Yeah.
like he has the ladybugs on the arm in Requiem and on the legs?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
it like represents Giorno so much.
Yeah, but he also
Oh,
has it on its hand if you see the manga version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the head.
Has it like on
looks
his
kind of like
knuckles.
wings opening.
on its
I just posted
hand.
a picture of the toy version of Gold Experience.
It looks pretty disturbing.
God.
His eyes are really wide as well. I find that really
I might put it
interesting.
in the podcast, but it looks we're looking at the picture right now. It looks very disgusting. Wait, isn't
Yeah.
that the color scheme of the anime version by any chance, or?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, so they
It
took it
is,
from a
but
figurine.
the yellow is darker. I mean, if the yellow of the toy was in the anime and they made it, a little bit more yellow and shiny, honestly, I would have been okay with this kind of version in the anime.
I just feel like they could have added some more gold, because in Gold Experience Requiem, you don't really see any gold at all. It's just orange and this like greenish yellow on his skin.
Yeah. Also, I think this is like some kind of
Okay,
ugly yellow.
I'm gonna I'm gonna insert my theory in here. Maybe because, as I said, when the stand is stabbed by the arrow, it dies and gets reborn. So maybe it loses some of its
Brightness.
brightness. Yeah, brightness and shininess.
That might be the case because you see that with Silver Chariot.
Yeah, that,
He like
that was
loses
Yeah.
everything.
But,
Yeah, Silver Chariot literally becomes black.
Yeah, but guys,
Yeah.
we
It's
need to
kinda
come to
shiny.
an end right now because we're already past the 1 minute mark. So,
Alright.
does
Wow.
anyone add anything?
Don't forget Diablo Sports Wolverines. He definitely deserved what was coming to him.
Yeah.
There
So,
was I remember before the new episode came out, they released the recolor toy version of Gold Experience Requiem with anime Giorno next to it, and I was like, oh snap, is Gold Experience gonna be green? Because
Oh,
Gross.
I posted the
Oh, no.
recolor of
That's
the
gross.
toy in the chat, bro. I was so disgusted, and
Oh, no.
I would have been mortified if that was the anime color.
Frog Experience Requiem.
Disgusting.
Bro, that's
Experience.
broccoli Experience Requiem.
Alright, we
That's
should be coming to an end now. The thing is, there are no episodes for the next 2 weeks, so I don't know what we're going to
3.
do with the podcast, if we put it in hiatus or something. If any of you guys have any ideas what we should do, or if we should talk about any certain topics, you can write it on Discord, you can write it on Twitter, or you can write it in the comments. And I
Hey,
will see what we
recap
can do.
podcasts.
Yeah, we could do that. Like, if you have any ideas or requests what we should talk about, leave a comment somewhere and then we can discuss it. So, that's the end of the podcast. We're already at 1 hour and 10 minutes right now. I wonder how short the podcast will be after we cut out all the pauses we had. So, thanks for everyone who participated this time, and see you next time.
Bruh.
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 Everyone's saying bruh.
Bruh.
My
Okay.
ears.
My
Wait, you know what?
my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined even though it's only 4 p.m. God damn it.